So this is part 2 of my stimulation of invertebrates lab. I could not find a video online that was exactly like the lab I proposed in part 1. However, I was able to find two videos online, both pretty short, that give a example of a earthworm and its response to a light stimuli. So I'm going to go ahead with the first one. The tester, he or she is testing the earthworm with a flashlight, as you can see. It's just the earthworm is in a container with what looks like a wet paper towel to give it a moist environment, and is shining the flashlight directly on the worm, as you can see, which is something I proposed in my part 1 lab, shining the flashlight directly on the worm. And as you can see, at the beginning, the worm is edging away from the flashlight. It doesn't really like it. Safety precautions taken during this lab, but there aren't really any. As you would expect, you don't really need any. The only one I can really think of is wearing some gloves, some disposable gloves when dealing with the worm, just to avoid germs. And you can see he's holding the flashlight in one place, and you can see the worm is uncomfortable in the light and moving away from it. So for the second video, it's another similar experiment. It creates a dark environment using this cardboard box here. She covers half of the container containing the worm, and observes how the worm reacts to a new dark environment.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Rogers. I'm with the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, and today we're going to be talking about worms. We're going to do an experiment that you can easily replicate in your classroom. We're going to want to start out with the composting bin that you've already filled up.
So again, no safety steps taken.
We're going to want to take our red wigglers and
I think she should be using gloves there just to avoid the germs of the worms and avoid her spreading her germs to the worms.
Moisture to stay alive, to breathe. So using.
And if you didn't catch that, she just said that she used the paper towel and made it wet to give it moisture so the worms can breathe, because that's how they take in air.
These wet paper towels will ensure that your worms can survive for the 2 or 3 hours to do this experiment. Now that we have our worms here in our bucket, you're going to want to take and cover half of the bucket.
So now that she has the worms in the bucket, like I said, she covers half of the bucket with the cardboard box.
What does this do?
And
it allows our students to experiment whether
she can
worms
explain
like
it.
a light environment or a dark environment. That's it. It's that simple, and yet.
Just to summarize what she said, she creates a dark environment and a light environment. Light environment on this half of the box, dark environment on this half of the box, and she sees what the worms do.
If you think about it, we've covered the entire scientific process. We're making a hypothesis. Do you think your worms are going to like?
And as you can see there, the worms do gravitate towards the darker side of the box. And that's it.